Hello, and welcome to my humble abode. My name is Hex, or Aerith, and we are standing on top of my moss farms. In due time, I will build something over top of this, and I do have a little bit of lore that will be attached to it. But for now, it's a functional farm, just like my iron prison is a functional iron farm. They aren't the most aesthetic things as of yet, but it's a work in progress. At least something is functional. That's really the start of it. The aesthetics can come later. The lore comes later as well. But the idea is that this is the main entrance in which our moss farm owner will be able to get to his home. He's gonna live here, and he's this is where he retired. He decided he doesn't want to travel anymore, and so he decided that if anybody wanted um, moss, they can come to him. This will be part of the building where he has an elevator to go up and down. It's gonna break my knees. Ow. We got a composter here for a whole bunch of bone meal. All of the extra moss gets to go in there. I know I can make it automatic and just extend it, put a couple of hoppers underneath, but I don't want to forget one day and need moss and then accidentally be making a whole bunch of bone meal. Uh, that would just devastate me. And I know that I would probably forget. So let's just put in half a stack on each one and show you how functional it is. We can fill it from the top, but I also have this little entrance here in which we can get to the top of the farm and just place our bone meal here. It'll come down to here and dispense to here. And when I turn it on, the dispenser will um, dispense the bone meal onto this moss block, which will turn all of the stone into moss. Uh, these dispensers will pick up the water so that the moss can spread and create more grass or azalea trees, saplings, and whatnot. And then the water will break all of that down, and the stone generator that's made there is going to continue to push stone, which will also break down moss. I think this is how it's supposed to function. I honestly don't know how uh, redstone functions, but this is the idea I think is how it works. And then um, down here, this functional thing that goes back and forth is kind of like a timer, so that it's not like an immediate boom, 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 boom. And it gives time for the moss to spread before um, it pushes forward. And then the moss gets pushed by the water, gets dropped over to here, gets picked up by the minecart, and then dropped through the droppers and into the chests. I hope that made sense. It sounded somewhat reasonable in my mind. Do I know how this works and can I imitate or create something on my own by doing this? Absolutely not. So the question is, who inspired me, or uh, whose farm guide did I follow? And the answer to that would be Silent Whisperer. If I recall, I'll send a link to his video in the description below. If I don't, then definitely search him up. He's been a YouTuber on a Minecraft YouTuber for quite some time, several years. I believe the Moss Farm video is either a 4-year or a 7-year video. It's not a new one for sure. It could be a 1-year old. That one could have been Blaze Dempsey. I don't recall. What I do know is that they help me to make these beautiful farms. They're functioning exceptionally well, in my opinion. And this is going to make it so I have infinite moss or infinite um, bone meal. Still need to make the elevators, but that's not a big deal. I was also thinking I'll cover up most of the farm, put some walls here, and then put like a little shelving unit or something right here. Make it so that it's like a workstation, uh, and then all of this is walled off. We'll leave one part a little bit open so that I can actually walk back here and get to this somehow. Even if I just open up a section here to go past the redstone, it's not a big deal. It's something that'll have to come with time. So that'll make the farm aesthetic so that nobody has to see all of this ugly redstone when they walk into this moss store. This small little moss store. Oh, hello. You scared the crap out of me, man. What are you doing here? I don't see anything of value that you can sell to me. The other thing that I managed to accomplish rather recently is I started on a lava farm. I think magma is going to be rather important for, well, fuel is probably going to be the biggest thing. Furnaces are going to need fuel when I make a super smelter. Um, yeah, lava is just really important for that. It could also be a decorative block down the road, but I'm not there yet. So the idea for this farm is going to be something like along this contour. We'll leave it just the L, and then we'll have a 3x3 here in the middle. And I haven't quite thought of the aesthetics yet, but I do have an idea where I want to use some either copper rods or some lightning rods. Maybe have them as some sort of like steampunk piping. But again, aesthetics will come after functionality. Right now, functionality is priority. We're just getting the industrial district established. Now, along with the 3 farms that I have built so far here in the industrial district, I've created routes to all 3 of them. So there's clearly this one that gets to the shop. I do not want to connect to the house because that's what I want that to be a little more private for the moss farmer, whoever it's gonna be, whatever job that villager is gonna have. And I'm also thinking I'm gonna need to extend the industrial aspect of this road all the way down to the end. So this is where the moss farmer's stairs are gonna get to his house. Boom. But what I'm thinking is we'll get through the industrial district of the stair, and we'll get the industrial district completed to somewhere around here. Then we're also going to build a bridge across here so that there's access to get across. And then we're also going to build a nice big industrial bridge across here. Now, the idea for as to why I'm doing that will be lore, but if we can look at it here, there's a bowl here. Now, it'll take quite a bit of actual terraforming, but with a bridge across here, access so that any small boats or ships can get through here, and making this into a harbor of sorts, makes it so that there's going to be able to have international trade, so that there's reason for that, for visitation and ships to show up to this land. And then because of the bridge, that'll give us an ability for caravans and other large shipments to get across from the industrial district onto to the harbor so that they can ship internationally, or anything that gets shipped from the international post can come through here and into here. See, there's plans for lore. This here is considered a prison, international prisoners. The idea is to make them all clerics so that they're dark magicians of sorts. And then I do have some lore written up about this, but the very brief summary of it is that they're international prisoners, violent criminals. Pardon me, sorry about that. Violent criminals who, in this industrial district, started off as basically just a lone island for prisoners to be placed. The prisoners tried to escape by slaying the guardian, not realizing that the guardian is immortal and continues to respawn, angering the guardian and basically setting their fates, because if they stop using any of that magic to stop slaying the guardian will respawn and slay them. So they're in this perpetual magic torture where they have to continue slaying the iron golem in order to keep themselves alive. Now, it doesn't seem like it's doing too much, but this is from a recent pickup. I also made a full stack of iron blocks, and when we come into here, part of the reason why I like having the villagers as fishermen is because barrels are useful. So a full stack there, or full barrel there, and then a whole bunch of string and poppies here. Poppies, there's gonna be some lore around poppies. They're gonna be really important. For anybody who has any knowledge on what poppies can make, you can have a guess on where the lore is gonna head with that. So, I mentioned that I have a trail to all three of the farms. So the iron farm, well, here's the magma farm one. It's a pretty small trail. Clearly I have to detail the trails a little bit more. I haven't even detailed the large path anyway. It's a work in progress, guys. It's a work in progress. Here's a preferred path, so anybody that just chooses to walk as opposed to following the proper path that is supposed to be. There's going to be a suspended bridge here. I'm going to have it go loop downward a little bit, so it's going to go something like this, right? bit of a U shape. And then this is how we get to, ouch. This is how we get to, sorry, I was a little bit stuck. I'm a little bit tall on the horse. This is how we get to one of the guard towers. Somebody been stopping all over my little crop there. And then once I get to building something a little more aesthetic, this tower will be in a wall that leads to another tower here, which will be in a wall, which leads to the entrance there. But also it leads to another wall here. And then, so basically the main access to get inside of this part of the prison would have to be to come in through the main entrance and then go through basically 3 different checkpoints in order to get to this one, and then this one would have an entrance into this spot here. But if you just need to collect iron, then you can come in through the main entrance, go around there, and then come in through here, and then you'll have your underground path there. Again, I have such big ideas and so much that I want to do and I'm planning to do, but I can only get to so much in so little time. And so that's pretty much all of the progress that I've made since my last video. I would love to include the little oopsie that I made, but I was not recording at the time. I don't think that anybody would be entertained by me trying to work on making any redstone. However, I didn't realize that little whoopsies would have been really entertaining, because what happened is I lost my helmet and I lost my Silk Touch diamond pick. How I lost them, I'm going to explain by actually being a little more visual here. Is I was standing here working on the farm, trying to build it up and make sure that it was all cohesive and functional. Oh, it looks like I'm out of... Ouch. We'll just shut them off for now because I'm out of bone meal. Not bad. Not phenomenal, but not bad. Better than nothing, I guess. Better than doing it manually, for sure. Alright, back to the story. After I have a nap. So, I was building it up, trying to make it all cohesive. And I did not have this stone roofing on either side. So, because people tend to tunnel vision when they're building something, they don't pay attention to, is it daylight or nighttime? A creeper came down, dropped in, while I wasn't paying attention, and kablooied. Exploded me. My stuff exploded all over the place over here. The lava here was still exposed. Now, I come here all naked because all of my stuff is like all over the place, so I'm trying to get it all. And I fortunately get everything, I think. That being said, there's a witch sitting there in the corner laughing at me. And I'm like, oh no, I hate witches. And to my knowledge, the best way to engage a witch is either run away altogether or engage it as fast as possible and destroy it. So it was here, and I was engaging it, and I fought her, and then I killed her. But after I killed her, I was poisoned, right? So a zombie dropped down, boom, right here. I turn around, get smacked by the zombie while I'm on half heart, die, and my stuff explodes again. Unfortunately, I lost both my helmet and my silk touch pit in the lava. Fortunately, I didn't lose any of my other diamond equipment, but I did have a little bit of a loss. I really wish I was recording because that would have been quite the entertaining little clip of video. But that's kind of all I have to show for now. I do want to decorate this hall to be a little more aesthetic along with this whole shop area. And then I also have to finish working on the lava farm a little bit. Steampunkify it, I think. And I think it's going to be like a pretty big project, but I'm going to build all those 4 towers and a big wall around that prison because that is basically the first build and the first, well, it is the first building literally and lore wise that was made on this island. If you guys are interested, definitely leave a comment or leave a like, and I would love to share the lore that I'm developing for this world. I've been kind of going over it briefly here and there, but if we want to go over it a little more in depth, then let me know. Otherwise, then I won't bother you guys with uh, my rambling for random lore that nobody cares about. They just want to see what kind of progress that I make in, I don't know, the next month. It's been a couple of weeks, so I thought it'd be best to update you guys. Anyway, before I ramble on and make this 20-minute video into a 20-hour video, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you guys in the next one. And well, where are my eyes? Okay, there they are. God bless.